Available now. Link below.
Received from all across our great country. But the time has now come to suspend my campaign.
Well, folks, it looks like Nikki Haley's presidential dreams have finally been put to rest after a humiliating Super Tuesday performance that saw her lose to Donald Trump in nearly every state. Haley has tucked her tail between her legs and scurried back to South Carolina to announce the end of her campaign, but don't expect any gracious concessions or heartfelt endorsements from Haley. She's still too busy taking veiled shots at the man who just handed her a resounding defeat. And as Haley exits the race, the real story is the reaction from voters who didn't hold back in their brutal assessment of her candidacy, from accusations of being menopausal to having no balls to scratch. It's clear that Haley never stood a chance against the MAGA movement. So grab some popcorn and settle in as we dive into the juicy details of Haley's long overdue departure from the 2024 race. Now, folks, just like Haley's laughable attempt to take on the Trump train, that stubborn belly fat you're carrying around is a real problem. It's deep, it's putting pressure on your vital organs, and it's linked to all sorts of health issues. But fear not, just like Trump demolished Haley on Super Tuesday, you too can demolish that excess flab with this incredible new product. It's got all the science-backed ingredients that you need to shrink fat storage, speed up fat breakdown, curb those cravings, and rev up your metabolism. And here's the best part. You can score a whopping 51% off, but only until the end of the month or until supplies run out. Don't be a low-energy loser like Haley. Head over to trimwithgary.com right now and start winning the battle against belly fat. Well, now the Republican Party can finally breathe a sigh of relief as Nikki Haley, the last remaining obstacle in Donald Trump's path to the nomination, has officially suspended her campaign. After a series of humiliating defeats on Super Tuesday, Haley retreated to her home state of South Carolina to lick her wounds and deliver a concession speech that left many scratching their heads. In her speech, she appeared to take a veiled shot at the man who just handed her a resounding defeat, stating, "Never just follow the crowd, always make up your own mind." Watch.
In all likelihood, Donald Trump will be the Republican nominee when our party convention meets in July. I congratulate him and wish him well. I wish anyone well who would be America's president. Our country is too precious to let our differences divide us. I have always been a conservative Republican and always supported the Republican nominee. But on this question, as she did on so many others, Margaret Thatcher provided some good advice when she said, quote, "Never just follow the crowd. Always make up your own mind." It is now up to Donald Trump to earn the votes of those in our party and beyond it who did not support him. And I hope he does that. At its best, politics is about bringing people into your cause, not turning them away. And our conservative cause badly needs more people. This is now his time for choosing. I end my campaign with the same words I began it, from the book of Joshua. I direct them to all Americans, but especially to so many of the women and girls out there who put their faith in our campaign. Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged, for God will be with you wherever you go. In this campaign, I have seen our country's greatness. From the bottom of my heart, thank you, America. God bless you.
So it seems Haley still hasn't learned the lesson that going against Donald Trump is a surefire way to end up on the losing side of history. Now, Trump never one to mince words. He celebrated Haley's long overdue exit with a Truth Social post that pulled no punches. He called out Haley's dismal performance, noting that she got trounced despite the dubious assistance of Democrat voters in states like Vermont. He also extended an olive branch to Haley's supporters, inviting them to join the greatest movement in the history of our nation. But perhaps the most telling reactions came from the voters themselves. One Texas woman didn't mince words when asked about Haley's candidacy, saying she's probably menopausal. Watch this.
NBC just reported that Michelle Obama has said she will not run for president.
Thank God.
Okay.
Yes.
Ainsley said, "I would love the reaction from a woman in the crowd," and
I wouldn't vote for a woman, and especially, you know, Nikki Haley, I'm just going to say this. She's probably menopausal. We don't need that.
Okay. She said, how about we vote for people regardless of their gender, just the right person for the job for America?
Yeah, and that's kind of, thanks so much, Will. That's kind of interesting because everyone speculated that she was going to run except her. She has never indicated.
Ouch. Another male voter was even more blunt in his assessment. He said, all a woman is good for in my book is having babies and taking care of the house, among other things. Watch this.
What do you think of Nikki Haley? Did you ever consider her?
You know, what I got to say, you don't really want to put it on.
Let me hear it.
Well, a woman's not going to be a good president. She don't have no balls to scratch. She's just going to scratch her head. All a woman's good for in my book is having babies and taking care of the house. But that's the old thing, you know. But I'm old school.
So you never even considered her?
No.
Mainly because she's a woman?
Because she's female. So, I mean, females, don't take me wrong, females know what they're doing, but they still got to have a little bit of guidance. Trump would be the one to guide her through the...
While these sentiments may not reflect all voters, they underscore the uphill battle Haley faced in trying to convince traditional Republican voters to abandon Trump. And Haley's sole bright spot in the campaign came in Washington, D.C., where she managed to eke out a win in the swamp itself. Her campaign touted this as a historic victory, noting that she was the first woman to win a Republican primary. But as Trump's campaign absolutely pointed out, this was a hollow victory in the heart of the swamp, where lobbyists and insiders were desperate to protect the failed status quo. And Trump, ever the master of branding, dubbed Haley birdbrain and mocked her for spending all of her time and resources in D.C. while he racked up massive wins in states like Missouri, Ohio, Idaho, Michigan. As the results poured in on Super Tuesday, he took to Truth Social to declare November 5th to go down as the single most important day in the history of our country. Watch.
I read an article yesterday where it said this is one of the finest run campaigns that anybody has ever seen. That's pretty good, right? That's pretty good. It's really a statement. And we have no choice because November 5th is right around the corner. November 5th is going to go down as the single most important day in the history of our country. We're going to take it and we're going to make it like it should be, respected. Right now, we're not respected. Right now, our country is known as a joke.
With Haley out of the race, Trump stands alone as the presumptive nominee, ready to take on the failures of the Biden administration and restore America to its former greatness. Haley, meanwhile, will have to content herself with her elevated national profile and the knowledge that she made history as the first woman to win a Republican primary. But in the end, she was no match for the MAGA movement and the unstoppable force that is Donald J. Trump. If you got value from this report, tap subscribe. My final thought is next. Now, folks, let's be real. Nikki Haley never stood a chance against the unstoppable force that is President Donald J. Trump. Her campaign was a joke from the start, and her humiliating Super Tuesday defeat was the punchline we all saw coming. But even in defeat, Haley couldn't bring herself to graciously endorse the man who represents the future of the Republican Party. Instead, she took cheap shots and ran back to the swamp that she claims to despise. Well, good riddance. The MAGA movement doesn't need fair-weather friends like Haley. We need true patriots who are willing to fight tooth and nail to take our country back from the clutches of the Biden regime. So let Haley lick her wounds in South Carolina. The rest of us will be too busy making America great again to even remember her name. Trump 2024, baby. Let's finish what we started and save this great republic once and for all.
Congratulations, you made it to the end of the video. Now keep up your quest for truth with this next news report. And if you found our channel enlightening, join the millions who agree with you. Tap subscribe. Thank you for watching the Next News Network.